Hey, welcome back to Olson Speed Shop. We got an old friend that's back in the shop. If you go back, if this first time viewer, this thing's been in the shop before. It's one of our kind of restorations where we brought it back from where it sat for a long time. It sat in my friend's garage for, I can't remember, 40 years. And he finally decided that him and his wife decided they wanted to get it on the road. So we went through a bunch. Anyway, go back to the other videos previous, probably about a year ago, a little over a year ago.
2020.
Actually.
Summer of 2020.
Anyway, it's back. So we've got it on the road. That's pretty much about it. Didn't do anything on the suspension. So he brought it back. He wants suspension done on it, and it's actually a little bit different right now. So right now we're doing a shakedown run on this. I've only done a little bit of stuff on it. I put tires on it. You can see it's got new BFGs. They improved the ride 100%. The other tires on it were very old. Dan, the owner, had put them on basically just to get it up and rolling because they were flat for sitting so long. Anyway, we got some good rubber under it now. Made a world of difference. We still had some issues with the brakes on this, and I'll go into that later. But so we got new rubber on it. I just put new rear shocks on it, and we just figured we'll see how it runs and drives. See how it goes. But we're coming to you from, we do a test drive all the time. I have a few favorite spots. This is actually one of our favorites. What is it?
Pleasant Green Cemetery.
Pleasant Green Cemetery, also known as Magna Cemetery in Magna, Utah. You can see the beautiful view. It's a cool older cemetery. A lot of pioneers are buried here, but they still do. I mean, there's still funerals today. So. But it's a beautiful area, beautiful outlook. All of these plots are maintained by the family. The city doesn't maintain them. So if you want your plot to look nice, like many are, the family's got to do it. Anyway, back to the Camaro. So, like I said, new tires. New back shocks. So the back's done. The front's gonna get pretty much new everything. It's gonna get new tie rods, new ball joints, new A-arm bushings, idler arm. Everything's getting gutted in the front. Gonna go with new. I just got all the parts in today, and I'm happy to say that it's going back. I like Moog products. Bunch of Moogs going back in it, and pretty much all of them are made in the USA. And even Moog, you've got to worry about that. So let me talk to you real quick. This is one of the things. So we've had issues with these brakes. Now, when I got it, I put a new master cylinder, new brake booster on, and all new brakes, all new brake lines. Everything was new. So all this stuff is new, but we kept having an issue when you drove it. The brakes would lock up. Not lock up, but they would get tighter. Like a self-adjusters in the back. When you back a car up of this age, they self-adjust, so they're always good. Well, I was getting self-adjusting on the front. Now, did some research, found out that that's your brake pedal rod. Simple enough. I adjusted it, seemed to be fine, worked out, gave it back to Dan, and he drove it through the spring and summer, and didn't seem to have an issue. But when he drove it down, he lives quite a ways away from me, and he drove it down to my house to drop it off. I smelled brakes. He said, yeah, the brakes were getting kind of hard at the end. So as I drove it back and forth to get tires on it and whatnot, I could tell those brakes were locking up. Now here's the quick key on this. You jack this up. If you think this is happening, you jack it up, you spin the front tire. If that doesn't spin, here's your problem. Now on this one, we've got drums all the way around on it. This is a master cylinder. We got power drums. And like I said, I replaced all this. If you get all 4 of your tires locking up or getting hard as you drive it, your adjustment for your brake pedal to your master cylinder is too tight. There's not enough free play. Okay, simple enough. Well, on this particular one, I run the free play out of it, or I gave it some free play. It was still doing it. So as I got looking at it, and I should have known this, but it took me some time to figure it out. If you've got a power booster and you've got a master cylinder, there are 2 separate rods here. So there's a rod that goes from your brake pedal to your booster. And then there's a rod from your booster to your master cylinder. So I was out of adjustment on the brake pedal to the booster. I didn't have any more adjustment. I couldn't make it any more looser. It was still giving me the problem. So here's what happened. I got looking. I realized that these 2 are still here. Now let me say this. I bought this as a unit. It came to me together, complete. I didn't put them together. They were already, I didn't buy them separate, they were together. So I didn't even think about adjusting that rod. So anyway, long story short, I ended up pulling off the master cylinder, find out there is no adjustment in the rod. It's just there. The only adjustment that you got is I ended up putting spacers in here. I made some spacers, I put them in here, which pushes that master cylinder out a little bit. So, drove it around all around the day. Dan, I gotta tell you, it's a blast to drive. I love driving it. And I've driven it freeway, I've driven it around town, I've driven it all braking here, and it's good. No more brakes locking up or getting tight. So we're gonna leave it at that. We'll get some video of us driving off this mountain and back. We'll maybe go through Old Town Magna, and so that's it. Okay, we're gonna take off. Start right up. This is actually a really good runner. I ended up putting a cam in it because one of the lobes were flat, but it's a good runner now.
Has all the original heater, radio.
This, since it's been a while, I'll talk about, we're gonna take off and we'll take you down past this cemetery and then we'll go down through Old Town Magna. So if you've never seen Magna, Utah, there's a pretty cool little main street on there, and they do a lot of filming. There's a lot of filming of movies and stuff when they want an old time feel, and you can see why when we go down. But so this Camaro, Dan is the owner, and he bought it brand new in 1968. In fact, he went and ordered it. He ordered it from Streeter Chevrolet, I think it was, and that was an old Chevy dealer back in the day. Ordered it, wanted the SS, got the automatic turbo. I think it's a turbo 400 in this. It's a big block, 396, and it's a really cool car. He still has the window sticker. The window sticker's in it. This car is 100% unmolested, meaning basically when we got it, and I don't know if you looked in at the engine when we were talking about it. It still has the air pump on it. Now, air pump on a Camaro was one of the first things to go. I actually put it back on because you just don't ever see that. So I took some grief over it and some comments saying, get rid of that air pump, blah, blah, blah. But this is a time capsule. This is an absolute beautiful time capsule of a 68 big block Camaro in 1968. And man, it's just a blast to drive.
Your steering wheel squeaks.
That was one of the things that the owners wanted me to fix, is the squeaky steering wheel. So that will get fixed, Dan and Bonnie, and that's on my list. But you can see how nice this thing drives. It's going to get in alignment, so the steering wheel will be straight instead of being off once we go through and change all the front suspension out. This thing has 79,352 miles original, and I know they're original because the owner told me they're original. I know the owner. He still owns it. One car owner. It's a one car Camaro owner, and that's very rare too. But it's just a great car. It really is. It doesn't get much better than this. Got some police presence going on here.
I'm not filming that.
Got three cops.
We're gonna look up at Rio Tinto.
Going in.
Kennecott.
This is Kennecott copper mine. Can't go there. It's all private land.
Barbed wire.
Yeah, they will not let you in. We're going to the very back side of Magna. So this is like, what is it, 9,000 west?
Might be 94.
9,200 west.
9,200 west in the Salt Lake Valley.
So, yep, Salt Lake Valley, Utah, Magna, Utah. This is pretty much at the end. I mean, that mountain range over there is the Oakers.
That's the Oakers between us and Twilla.
Yep, Twilla's on the other side of the Oakers. But we're about to Main Street in Magna. I do a lot of driving down Magna Main Street. It's fun.
This is the high school driving range that we're going past for Cypress High School. This is where our boys learned how to drive.
Yep, 2 boys drove cars there to get their license. This is the senior center. And we have a nice old Main Street. And yep, this is Magna Main Street.
It's not all, businesses aren't all open in it, but we get a lot of waves.
Old 57, 56.
This is our Empress Theater.
A lot of
Witch's store.
a lot of bars and churches on this street. But if you want the best sausages around, right here. Calissimo's sausage.
We suggest the black and blue.
Black and blue. It's black pepper and blue cheese.
Yeah, blue cheese
brats.
and black pepper brats.
So good. I actually went in there today. I drove past there today in this, and they didn't have any, so I didn't buy any. Here's our library. Kennecott provided a lot of money for that. It is a good, nice library. Old.
That must have been used in a movie or something.
That was used in Touched by an Angel, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
That show, if you remember that TV show. But you can see why they want to film here. There's a lot of cool old stuff still.
Yeah.
There's a lot of junk too, but
there's a lot of junk.
But it's kind of cool. And they've done a lot to revamp this. They put all these sidewalks in, these fancy street lights. They're really trying to upgrade, get people to come over. There's a church right there. Ebenezer Church.
I think it used to be a bar.
It was a bar.
Now
Yep.
it's a church. And here's another church, the New Beginning Christian Fellowship. And we have another church up here. This is the Presbyterians in the white building.
Yeah. Did we pass the old?
Not yet. There's
Post
another
office.
one in the old post office.
We call this is the cops. We call it the Batman
The Bat Cave.
Bat Cave.
They painted all the purple in there and it just looks funny, but
Here's the old.
this
There
used to be the post office and they've turned it into a church. I'm not sure which denomination it is.
This is getting revamped. I've always
Someone's
wanted
doing
this
something
building. Yeah. It used to be old. Used to be garages. It actually had garage written on the top. So.
This guy, this used to be a body shop. Now it's a tire shop.
Yeah. It used
Anyway,
to
it's
be.
a tire shop.
There's the new post
That's
office.
our new post office. And here's where, when we almost ran out of gas a couple Saturdays ago, we pulled in there. Thank goodness. Woo!
Yeah, in the 55
In the
Chevy.
55. We thought it had more gas in it than it did. On our way home from filming the video at Saltaire,
Yeah.
we almost didn't make it home.
Go check out that video. We did. We were coughing and sputtering on the freeway back home.
I should have grabbed my phone and started filming the coughing, stuttering. It would have been great.
And it's funny because we had a fuel issue with that car, and I had told in that video, I said, it's all fixed and everything's good. And then we get coming home and it starts coughing and sputtering. But it wasn't a fuel issue. We were just out
It was
of fuel.
out.
So,
The gas gauge, when it is on a quarter of tank, it's really out.
yeah. So you can tell, I don't know if you can hear in this video, but there is not, other than the squeaky steering wheel, which drives Bonnie nuts, and I can see why. It kind of drives me a little bit nuts too. But there's not a lot of clunks in this. It's
pretty
fairly
quiet.
It's fairly quiet and tight, and it's only going to get better when we redo the front suspension. So once we get the front suspension done, and we get it aligned, come on, buddy.
He's waiting for you.
He just wanted to see his cool car. Oh, it's nice not having the brakes go wonky on you.
So it's pretty nice ride, but it's gonna get even better.
Yep, it is. It's got the original front shocks on it, which we've got new ones there. Once we redo all that suspension stuff, it's going to be nice and tight, and it'll damn be able to drive this on the freeway all day long. You wouldn't even have to worry about it. The new tires, the tires made a huge difference also.
You felt threw you off the road going to the tire store and
Yeah,
back.
it had a vibration that just, and we can talk about that. My son works at a tire store, and so I took it to him to have them balanced, and he went to balance them, and first thing he told me was, Dad, the date code on these are 09. We're not even supposed to touch them. And I said, well, do your dad a favor. Anyway, he went to balance them, and they didn't balance very well, and two weren't doing it. So he road force balanced them, which is where they put friction on and balancing them that way. And I can't remember what the numbers were. He told me that they should be, I don't remember, under 20 or something. Whatever the 20 means. He said the two of them were 300.
300.
And that's the best he could get them. So those tires had sat for a long time on this car that sat in a garage. And they weren't real expensive tires, but I think they say radials don't get a memory. Like bias ply will get flat spots and have a memory of that. And I don't think radials were supposed to do that. But I mean, this is night and day compared. Definitely night and day. Yeah. And you can't go wrong with BFGs. Sorry. I'm a tire snob. I like good tires, and BFGs and Michelins are my favorite. So, and they didn't even make. Oh boy,
we have
we got a driveway full.
Okay, why don't we end this?
So we'll end this. So stay tuned. We'll go through hopefully some of the front suspension mods we do, which isn't mod, it's just making it new. Anyway, if you like this video, subscribe. My viewership goes up and down because of my fault. I don't do enough videos and whatever. But if you like it, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and we'll make more videos and we'll get better. We're actually going to edit this one and tie them together. So anyway, have a good, safe weekend. Have a good President's Day, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
See you.